Hey guys, Survivor Man Pat here, back from over a year lost in the woods. I survived, of course. That's what Survivor men do. Learned a lot of lessons while I was out there lost in the woods. Had a brief stint of viral fame. And made lots and lots of animal friends. So many, in fact, that I thought I would share with you some of the things that I learned about them while I was out there lost in the woods. Maybe so many things that you, from now on, you'll call me Animal Friend Pat. Anyway, the first one I wanted to talk to you about is this handsome devil. Seen here in his natural habitat, foraging for food, the common trash panda exudes poise and nobility. But did you know that they are also super snuggly? Lay down next to a family of these guys and stay warm all night. Let's go give the little guy a hug, shall we? You know, everybody has bad days. Anyway, I think what I wanted to tell you today is that I think one of the hardest things in our faith is to actually do our faith and do anything at all. And so I wanted to share with you the story of Josh and Jenny, who are part of something called the Abandon Project. And I thought maybe their story would be able to help us get started to figure out how we can have ours. Okay, this has been Animal Friend Pat, signing off.
All right, hey guys, listen up. Caleb, everybody listen up. Okay, can I tell you guys a story real quick? When I was younger, my grandfather had put the street light up, and it was like expensive. It was like $1,000. And guess who liked BB guns?
I do.
I do.
I do.
So you know what I did? I took my neighbor's BB gun, and I shot my grandfather's light out. Growing up without a dad, I had like major commitment issues. So like, I could start something and quit it, start something and quit it. My grandfather came up to me and he asked me, he said, "Did you shoot my light out?" And he was giving me a chance to confess up and own up to what I did. You know what I said? I said, "Nope, I didn't do it." One of my clients called me and told me to come to this church outreach that they had on Wednesday night and that there was a bunch of kids there and they wanted me to speak. And I asked them a question. I said, "Hey, how many of you guys have your dad in your home?" And like out of all the kids, like 2 kids raised their hand out of all of them. Don't push people away, whether it be a teacher, a coach, a grandpa, because every one of us need discipline. And yeah, one thing led to another. Now we're here, like going on 6 years later.
His vision for changing this community is so unique, but it's unfortunate that it's unique. Especially in a city like Charlotte where there's so much money, people just throw money. And they think that that's gonna somehow change these communities. But the people who live in these low-income neighborhoods, they desire something greater for themselves. It's overwhelming at times trying to figure out how do you lead and guide and impact a community filled with people who are just coming from such different backgrounds, who have such different stories to tell. You know, a lot of these kids I've had relationships with now for 5, 6 years. The biggest challenge that students face are a lack of expectation. I don't think that their parents expect much of them. I think in North Carolina particularly, the expectation is that students will pass, and that's about it. And so in turn, all of that combined means that they don't expect much of themselves. So I see my role not just as an English teacher, but also as kind of an inspirational coach almost, you know, trying to get these students to believe that they're capable of being much more than they think they're capable of being.
I knew since I was in college that I didn't want to live a comfortable, normal life. I wanted to live a life serving the broken.
What was good for us was the church that we took over their program had a Wednesday night program. That allowed us to have a safe environment for kids to come in and them to get to know us and for us to get to know them in really a neutral environment. We call that like our trampoline effect, so that began to launch us into their lives deeper. So it wasn't long before we moved into the neighborhood where the kids were. I don't think we necessarily came into it with a plan.
No plan.
No plan at all. It was literally like, hey, let's just keep showing up and getting to know these kids. And at first, how do you create a plan for people that you don't know? It was as simple, and I know it sounds crazy, it's as simple as just showing up.
Wanna see what would happen if I kept showing up on your doorstep. Got no silver or gold, so I listen instead. Now how does that sound to you?
Personally, like, even though we're working with other neighborhoods, this is my like personal favorite neighborhood. So yeah, we've been in this neighborhood for going on like 5 years. We've seen kids that when we first started that were in middle school that have now, you know, graduated out of the neighborhood, but now we have like a whole influx of like new elementary school kids in this neighborhood. So it's
They're
like the
insane.
work is just beginning again, and they are awesome and crazy all at the same time. So this is Wallace Woods right here.
Some of the kids are just getting dropped off.
Like, here they come. What's up? Yeah, let me park. I'll be right there, okay? Hey, Jamari, what's up? Asia, look at those shoes. No, that means we get a chance to match. Okay. Hey, Chris, you see? Oh, here's your screen. Oh.
Come here, give me a hug.
Huh?
Naturally, my personality is pretty outgoing, but I hadn't spent much time with African American kids from the inner city, to be honest. And so, yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable. We didn't need money to show up in the neighborhoods. We didn't need money to walk in there and gain their trust. We needed to spend ourselves by taking up our time and going into the neighborhood, and all that mattered to them was that we came back. And we have, just like they have, anybody has the opportunity to give people a voice again.
I used to have a lot of issues within myself, like my anger, making friends. I used to have a very bad temper. And when I started going to Wednesday night, Jenny started praying for me and stuff, and we started doing activities. She helped me have confidence in myself and understand myself more and how to cope with my feelings and stuff.
And just through a constant pursuit of her heart and loving her, even when it was hard, to now where she wants to just sit in my car with me and tell me all that's going on and ask me to pray with her. It's a huge 180 difference, and it's really special.
Basically, I want to do the same thing for other kids that Josh and Jenny did for me.
They'll be all ready to go.
Josh. What's up, Josh? What's up, camera lady? Back at it again. Hey, really?
Make sure y'all put the seats down.
I don't.
Caleb, I'm gonna come back and get you.
Wait, can I go see it? Oh,
Hey, what's up? Are y'all coming later? All right.
We are at what the kids call Saturday night, which is the church where we host our large group program.
What's up, Juan?
didn't actually start helping out until last year. I just help out with the trouble kids, kind of get to know their story. Basically like what Josh and Jenny do. 4 o'clock rolls around, and then high school kids roll in. We all upstairs chilling, playing basketball downstairs. And then we'll come upstairs, eat, and then we'll have our lesson.
So I want to tell you a story from the Bible. Jesus is gathering with his disciples, and he wants to have a dinner with them. And Jesus tells them, this is going to be the last meal that we will eat together.
We want these kids to, I think, receive 2 things. I think we want them to receive love, but we also want them to receive the truth of Christ and the truth of the gospel.
The disciples start to argue about who do you think is going to be the greatest of us, of all 12 of us? Who do you think Jesus is going to give the most rewards to? In fact, when we get to heaven, who do you think God's going to honor the most?
Not every kid that comes through our programs changes for the good. I've had a couple of guys who really have kind of taken everything that I've ever done for them and thrown it back in my face and told me that I'm fake, that I never meant anything that I did. In fact, guys told me that they hate me.
Jesus, though, he offered the disciples a different perspective. And Jesus says, if you want to be the greatest in the kingdom of God, he says you got to live by this rule. He said, the first shall become last.
You know, that's really where your faith has to play an essential role. You realize I'm not doing this out of my own strength. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this because Christ loves these kids and he's called me to live life with these kids. And in the end, as long as you're faithful to that calling, that's the only thing that matters.
It won't be easy. I gotta be careful with my heart and yours. Who knows how many times we both been hurt before, but I plan to stick it out.
What Thanksgiving means. We talked about Squanto. We talked about just American
For a
tradition.
little bit of time. The simplest thing that really hit my heart was stop for the one. Just make it about that one. People don't realize the power in asking people what their name is. We all have a story to tell, and most people don't get to tell it unless we ask.
I tell people a lot of times, like, your purpose comes from your pain, and that was my case. Anybody can do what we're doing. You know, somebody out there listening might be called to something that's more relatable to their particular pain.
But really, I think all it takes is saying, what need can I meet today? What need can I meet tomorrow? And then these dreams come and God grows it and things develop and people start supporting you and they start coming along and spending their selves to help you. But in the beginning,
Just start small.
it starts small.